Good morning, Virgil. I think you're a shining light here at Coast to Coast, and I think you really embody our culture and our mindset, especially the story you just said the other day in one of our group meetings about something that happened to you. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say you're a father of 5 children.
5.
You've got 3 grandkids.
3
You're
grandkids.
full time here at Coast to Coast.
1 in Africa.
1 in Africa. Real, that's right. You've got
Yeah.
a great amount of clients here at Coast to Coast. You have been with us for 8 years, in the industry for 17. You're on the board for Light Africa, a nonprofit for education in Africa.
Light Africa is an organization founded approximately 10 years ago, and just for that purpose, to promote education in Uganda. It's been very good to have over 1,000 kids that are now involved in the elementary aspect of the kids, and 700 high schoolers, and 300 middle schoolers. So quite a few kids now that are being educated, and that's the goal of Light Africa, to promote that and spread the love.
Wonderful. How long have you been on the board there?
It's been 7 years.
That's
7
fantastic.
years. Yeah.
So what really grabbed my attention, you were shot in the back by a cop for a crime you didn't commit. A lot of people would handle that in a lot of different ways. That's a serious matter. And you have just the most positive attitude. I'd love for you to share with not just myself, but with anyone watching this, what your experience was and what you learned from it, and how that affected the rest of your life.
That one thing turned my life upside down. Ultimately, I can look back and say, wow, in a positive way. I joke with my wife that I took a bullet for her because I got shot. And the one bullet hit me. He discharged his weapon 4 times. One bullet hit me. And because of that, I met her a month and a half later, because
Really?
I had to in the same location I was at here in Southern California, as opposed to relocating to Northern California. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was traumatized, hurt, mad, angry, and questioning, because I never lived a violent life. I certainly have a past, and to be quite honest with you, Coast to Coast has been awesome, and we have so many people who are in recovery. I've been sober 21 years now, and I was sober at the time and practicing the program and so forth. And for something like that to happen, I had questioned. They had physical descriptions of the guys, age, approximate age, young black males, 3 of them dressed totally different than I, and hoodies and so forth. And they had a description of a white Rambler. Black male dressed like I was, collared shirt, older black male, and in a red BMW. So no, none of the descriptions matched. The only thing that was similar was the color of the skin. And I drove away. He shot me. He discharged his weapon 4 times, hit me once, and about a mile later, I was heading to the hospital. I realized I got shot. I'm in shock. But I heard the gunshots and felt something so hot, painful, so quick and brief, and actually literally touched my chest, and the bullet hadn't went through yet. It was poking out, and that really just sent me into panic as I'm driving away. And so my car passed out on the freeway. And they end up, the paramedics came and took me to the hospital, and the bullet missed my heart by a quarter of an inch. And
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. And I'm not famous. When I went to a rally last week, they had a lot of names on signs of people who had died in police due to the police shooting them with string or whatever method. And I'm not one of those names. I'm not famous. My name is not one of those names.
I'm glad you're not famous for that, Virgil. I'm really glad.
It was so emotional to me. Yeah.
You said that there was a shift in your mindset right around the same time that you started at Coast to Coast. Is that right?
I have a lot of rich relationships with a lot of people going back many years through college and fraternities and high school and all these things. And I have a lot of relationships in business with people who didn't look like me, who weren't my color. but I wasn't going to allow myself to get close to anybody that wasn't my color, particularly males. Um, and and since that happened in 1998, January 4th, so it took many years before the ice started to break. And the ice started to break in April 14th. I can tell you I had an event that I went to, a men's Christian event over a weekend, uh, and 50 men. I didn't know for that weekend. I got close to 20 of them in that weekend, and 20 did not look like me. And the ice started to break, and I hired on a Coast to Coast 7 months later. That was April, so I hired on in October of 2012. And have so many guys that I'm close to now who are, well, whatever color. Color's not even an issue. We just have the same common focus to be good men, to raise our families, to provide for our families, to do the right thing. And all that has been promoted coast to coast, you know, and I didn't realize to talking to you how impactful. I look at that event, that April 14th event, as being the icebreaker, and then my involvement in church with church guys. But I came to Coast 6 months later, and a lot of those guys know my business. They know the good, the bad, and the ugly about Virgil Brown.
Yeah.
It makes no difference what color they are. So that's, yeah. Encounter is what it's called.
Encounter. And that
Yep.
something about that event just sort of triggered these new relationships where maybe your heart melted a little bit. You opened up.
Alan, it's a Christian event called Encounter. Nothing like it. I've been on many men's retreats, and the retreats are great. This is where we get away for a weekend to encounter God, literally. And it happened for me. And to be quite honest with you, it's some other things I was had empathy with my wife. We were distant, very, 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 very distant. Things were broken in our relationship, and that happened that weekend as well. That was also broken that weekend. I had to come back, cry before a crowd of 50 people, and apologize to her for my behavior. And so that weekend is just phenomenal. I've seen it. We do it twice a year, and every year. And I'm involved as a teacher now, and an encourager for guys who are new and first timers. And it's a life changing for 80% of the guys who come through. It's life changing, literally.
Well, that's amazing, and I'm so glad you're with Coast to Coast. You're such an amazing inspiration to us all. Tell me some stories at Coast to Coast that really show your experience of just how that change, that shift in perspective has enabled you as a professional.
I literally like people. People are flawed. We have our things, but I like people, and I love people's backstories. I love to connect with people. I connect with people and talk, and race, creed, or color does not make a difference to me, you know. And it's funny, I forget a lot of things these days, but I can get a customer on the phone and remember details about that customers. How's your mom? How's your kid? How's this doing? How's that doing? You run across others who had family issue, drug addiction, and so forth, and I'm able to encourage them because of my story and what's happened to me. And you get, you know, those are some of the things that the job, that's not a job, the career Coast to Coast affords me personally, because I love to serve people now. That's one thing. So I love to serve. And Coast to Coast, by the way, I was on the board of the Samaritan Center, which is a local facility that helps disadvantaged, homeless, and people who are at odds in that way. And Coast to Coast has been so instrumental in supporting locally as well the people here in the community, Simi Valley, where corporate is located at. Oh my God, we feed people, and we build homes for Habitat for Humanity and all kind of things Coast to Coast has done. And I love that. I love serving.
Me too. I love the fact that the company will match whatever we're willing to give to a charitable cause. We do support police departments, and we do support, you know, sheriff departments, and lots of organizations, you know, anything that really is a great cause. Like you mentioned, Habitat for Humanity, you know, these Avon Walk for Babies. I remember doing that walk. That was an amazing experience. And I love that about Coast to Coast. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have found Coast to Coast had it not been for them being on a booklet at a play that I went to. Chicago was the play, that my wife and I went to, and I was in the industry already for 7 years, and I was not loving my old job. And then this was 9 years ago for me, that I was watching a play with my wife, and on the back of this pamphlet for the play Chicago, it was sponsored by Coast to Coast. I was like, you're kidding me. Okay, that's a sign right there.
Wow.
But
Wow.
let me go into a little bit more about your work at Coast to Coast. And you obviously have not just worked on improving your sales skills and your knowledge of products, but you've really gone into personal growth and development. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Got to Coast and heard of Zig Ziglar. and went from Zig Ziglar for the first couple of years, and a dab of Tom Hopkins for sales skills is what I listen to Hopkins for. Zig Ziglar motivation, but it's these things that are uplifting and motivate you, and more wisdom that comes out of these guys. And then, oh God, there's Jen Rome, who I listened to, Lou Tice. Lou Tice opened up to how my mind had been working for years. Mm-hmm. You know, the reticular activating system. You know, I focus on, I want this car, and focus on it, and so and it comes back. Wow, so I have the car, and I'm 22 years old. You know, but you know, there's so much to how we think. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. There's a book that says that, and so, you know, it's promoted us thinking right, thinking positively, thinking of growth individually, spiritually, physically, emotionally, socially, financially, and the pillars and these type of things.
Because you've obviously put that into practice for a while now, because you just emanate positivity. And I want to say thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I even heard your phone ring at the beginning of this call here. You've got an order waiting for you. So I don't want to keep you too long. I know I've got a lineup of customers I've got to get to, but the real thing I wanted to say, Virgil, is that I'm proud to work with people like you, people who've gone through this adversity in life, people who've been, now, obviously in your case, literally shot, but I'm talking about people who've, you know, come from every background, every walk of life. And
yes,
we all share one story, is that we're all staying positive and moving forward and focusing on improvement. And you emphasized as a man thinketh. And I want to say, obviously, whatever you're thinking, you're thinking right. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you again for your time today, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Alan. Bless you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too, man. Bye-bye.